Hello, welcome to Matters of DeCorum. I'm Scott Corum. This is what matters to me. I was asked in a comment to talk about the anti-hero. One of my favorite subjects, actually. What's the difference between a hero and an anti-hero, and how does the concept of the anti-hero relate to role-playing games? Definitions first off. Hero is a protagonist who has classic heroic traits, courage, sense of honor, sense of fair play. Superman is the classic idyllic hero, a superhero, as it were. The anti-hero is a protagonist who lacks these traits. The simple dictionary definition. So a hero, a person who is the person whose struggle we are following, the protagonist of the story, the player character, as it were, who is there to get to the same goal a hero would be getting to, but without the traits of courage or honor or any of those positive traits that we associate with heroism. Batman, as portrayed by Adam West in the 1960 television series, was a hero. Batman, as portrayed by Frank Miller in The Dark Knight Returns, is an anti-hero. Which is not an entirely unique path for a hero to take. A disillusioned hero, a hero who has abandoned those qualities because they have held him back, is an anti-hero. My favorite anti-hero of all time, is from the movie Battle Beyond the Stars. This character whose name is only Gelt. A character who I so appreciate that I have used that name and that template as a character for a number of my characters over time. I have mentioned my version of Gelt in this vlog. The scene that nailed it for me, the scene that showed me that path, sorta. Spoilers for Battle Beyond the Stars. You should really watch Battle Beyond the Stars, by the way. And it is spoilers for a movie that's 41 years old. I just made myself sad. Saw this movie in the theaters twice. Our hero in the film, Shad, it's a pastiche of the Magnificent Seven, is traveling from planet to planet looking for people to help him defend his world, a poor world with a population that is rich in culture, but not in anything else, apparently. They're about to be invaded by someone who's just going to blow the planet up if they don't kowtow to him. So Shad goes looking for people who can help, mercenaries, as it were, that he can hire for whatever he can work out. He goes to a planet that is known to be full of the most dangerous individuals in the entire galaxy, and there is one human left alive on the planet. The rest of it has been blasted into perdition. And this human, played by the inimitable Robert Vaughn, sitting on a literal throne surrounded by treasure, would be Gelt. And let me quote, because I've got the quotes available. Shad approaches Gelt and informs him, "I'm hiring mercenaries to protect against an invasion, but food and shelter is all we can offer in payment. All of our wealth is in our culture." And after an astonishingly beautiful pause, with this expression of complete derision, Gelt replies, I could buy your planet 10 times over with what I've gathered in this room. Plutonium, cadmium, quelling crystals. I've been very well paid for my work. Dejected, Shad responds, I'm sorry, I've wasted your time. But then Gelt continues, no, wait, listen to the rest of it. I sleep with my back to the wall when I can sleep. I eat serpents 7 times a week. There's not a major city in the galaxy where I can show my face or spend my wealth. Right now, your offer looks very attractive to me. A meal and a place to hide. Gelt then proves himself to be one of the most apt and agile fighters in the team that gets assembled to defend the planet, sacrificing himself to buy the planet some time. After which, they prepare a meal and bury it with him. A meal and a place to hide. The anti-hero is someone who has completely run out of effects to give. They may have had a cause at one point in time. They may have had ideals at one point in time. And now that is behind them. Things did not go well. They had to leave the baggage. The things that make the hero weighed them down, got in the way, prevented them from doing what they needed to do. And so, that's not them anymore. Oh, they'll still do the work. For other reasons. Payment, vengeance. Just not for their ideals. You can interchange the phrase protagonist for player character. Every player character at your table is a protagonist. No one is there to be a backup character. And you have classic role-playing tropes where your player character is a hero. The traditional lawful good paladin is a hero. There are ideals. There are things that they have to abide by just to be themselves. They have to maintain a code, act with honor, work for the defense of the good and the shattering of the evil. And if they don't, they lose the special abilities given to them by their deity for following that code. The anti-paladin, a paladin who has lost those abilities and clawed their way up some other way, is an anti-hero. Short of those laid out in the roles, playing an anti-hero is somewhat rewarding if you're not doing it just because you're lazy. Playing a hero means you come with extra hooks and handles attached. A code of honor, a set of behaviors you must adhere to, things that will limit your courses of action. I can't do that because that's against my code. Well, we could get the information if we tortured this guy. You can't torture that person. Look, these are the only person with the information. I got the knives right here. We don't torture our prisoners. It's against my code. And a well-played paladin will push their code on other people, trying to get those limitations to work for the entire group. It's the right thing to do to not torture that prisoner. We should let him go at this point in time. We're not the law. We don't have any ability to enforce authority here. We should let him go. We're not the cops. But if he goes like, There's a right thing to do and a wrong thing to do, and the hero does the right thing. The hero always has to try to do the right thing. If they don't, they're not the hero. If they sacrifice their ideals, they sacrifice identity. The anti-hero gets to do whatever they damn well please to get the job done. They're very chaotic about that. Chaotic good, chaotic neutral, chaotic. They do not have to abide by a set of codes or morals or standards or anything. They can just do whatever they want, which does in fact sound like an excuse to have a character that just does whatever. It's zany and wacky, and don't do that. You need to have a couple of handles in there, even if it's something that the character keeps to themselves. A well-played anti-hero still has an ideal or two, still has something that drives them, still has something that acts as a set of rails for them. While the hero has their honor and their courage and their ideals to keep them on the straight and narrow, the anti-hero has something else. A smoldering desire for perfection or revenge, some inner drive towards being in the right place at the right time to do, hopefully, the right thing, but don't you dare try to get between them and that, because there's nothing stopping them from taking a poke at you if they think you're in the way. Spider-Man is a hero. He is driven by a code that with great power comes great responsibility, which is an amazing, simple, and concise way to phrase a hero's code. It can be applied to any number of characters throughout fiction or role-playing. The Punisher is an anti-hero. He was a part of the system once, but then everything he loved was destroyed, and now all he's there to do is inflict pain and damage. The Punisher is as driven, if not more driven, than Spider-Man is. You know, if a bad guy or two get away from Spider-Man, Spider-Man will catch that the next time. It's like, well, he got away this time, but next time I'll be ready for him. Someone tries to get away from the Punisher. Are they faster than bullets? I don't think so. Like, yeah, I figured you'd go for your card. That's why I planted the bomb. Beat, boom. Is Spider-Man more driven? Is he a better character than the Punisher? Well, arguably. But they can both be written well. Both have been written well. Both have been written badly, too. That's the problem with passing characters around. But the anti-hero, to me, as a player, I find the anti-hero more interesting, not because I get to abandon the rails, not because I get to, well, there are no rules because I'm the anti-hero. I'm going to go do whatever I want to do, and that's going to be what I do. That's not why I play the anti-hero. I enjoy playing anti-heroes because I want to redefine those rails. I don't want the world to have a handle on why my character does why he does. But I want there to be a reason he's doing what he is doing. Are you following some code of honor? I don't believe in honor. Oh, are you following some drive to peace? That rarely works out well for people who do that. No, I'm not doing that. Why are you doing that? That's none of your damn business, and I'll thank you to walk away before I have to take a shot at you now. I like that air of mystery that you can have with an anti-hero. Heroes wear their qualities on their sleeve. It is a flaw of the hero. It's a strength of the hero. You know where they stand. You can eventually find out where the anti-hero stands, but not by what they say, or not by what anyone else says about them. You find out where the anti-hero stands by their actions, by what they do and when they do it. The building is falling down and you can't get all the kids out, and the hero has done his best, and he runs outside with arms full of the kids he could get, knowing he left one behind, and he's crushed. He gets out to give the anti-hero a piece of his mind for not being in there and doing it, and the anti-hero is already standing there, blood running down one side of his face, the last kid in his arm. I thought you didn't go in for this kind of thing. And the anti-hero just puts the kid down, looks at the paladin, huffs, and walks away. Oh, there's a character moment. Gave myself tears there. Nice. The hero is pre-discovered. You know what the hero is about. You know why the hero is there. If I am playing a hero in a role-playing game, the heroism is written down on the character sheet. I have a checklist of things. Oh, if I do this and this and this, and I behave in this way, I'm the hero. And there are benefits for being the hero. There's a lot of benefits for being the hero. It's not like having that checklist and being on those rails is without any benefit. Heroes are generally treated well by good societies. They are honored by people. They're constantly being thank you, masked man. Where is that masked man? I wanted to thank him. That's the hero. That's what a hero. That is the due a hero is paid just for being a hero. The anti-hero. The anti-hero can be reviled. The anti-hero can be hated and even hunted by the people that he is trying to help and doesn't care. It doesn't matter what they've actually done. There's always going to be that air of, but he's not the hero, which is the way the anti-hero wants it. I don't have a checklist when I'm playing an anti-hero. I don't have a set of guidelines to say, oh, here's how you behave, and then you are treated this way. But no, I get to define the anti-hero's agenda. And by defining that agenda and playing to that agenda, I get to discover it. I get to walk this character into a number of situations and find out by not so much by reading a list on the character sheet, but by going to my gut. What's this guy going to do here? Well, oh, burning building full of kids. What do you do? That's a great question. The paladin charges in. That's what the paladin does. The hero breaks down the door and starts grabbing kids and taking them out because that's what they're expected to do. The anti-hero? That is not what he's here for. He could very well just walk on. There's no requirement for him to go in and do the work of a firefighter, despite the fact there's no firefighters here. Hero's got this. I could walk on. But I think I hear one kid the paladin's probably going to miss. Yep, paladin missed him. Well, sounds like 3 or 4 kids. Paladin's got 2 arms. Yeah, the math is simple. And the anti-hero could still walk away. Could still, you know what? Not my code, not my thing, not what I'm here to do. I got a job. It's really important. I have an agenda. I need to do this. Now I find out what they're made out of. Now I find out, now the game master finds out, now the rest of the party finds out what that character's actually made of. In Igne Veritas, in Fire Truth, when you have that burning moment, when you have that danger, that threat, that risk, does the anti-hero take the risk? Are they capable? Every player character at that table can beat a platoon of soldiers. That's kind of how the things are balanced. Will they? What do they do with those abilities? my anti-heroes will generally still go into that building. It's not required, and that's generally my anti-heroes will. Might find another course, might make the right part of the building fall down. See if he can wreck just enough of it so that the last kid can get out. Maybe find someone he can direct in there. Maybe does something to get the firefighters there a little bit faster. Lots of options. So that maybe he can just be cool as a cucumber standing across the street, arms folded, waiting for the hero to be done with their nonsense. But even if nobody knows what they did, that's sometimes even better. Or they're standing there with the last kid, having taken a couple of hits, and you don't know why. No one else knows why. You've got this figured out. Oh, my character does care, but he can't put on a show. He won't put on a show. I'm going to go do what he needs to do as efficiently as possible. And yeah, he'll take a couple of hits to make sure the kid comes out okay. But that's just what you do. It's not a sense of honor. It's just their humanity coming out. The hero gets accolades. The hero comes out with a ta-da, and there's lights, and people are clapping him on the back and throwing a blanket over their shoulders, hand him a cup of coffee and a donut. Good job. Those kids have you to thank for their lives. And the anti-hero, he's already down the street. He did not wait for his blanket. He doesn't give a damn about the cup of coffee. He will get a cup of coffee on his own later. And the donut would just slow him down. As would the accolades. He doesn't need that. Doesn't want that, would just get in his way. I didn't do that for the kids. I did that because if we didn't do it, the paladin would have been here all damn day. Now, can we move on? Whether that is true or not, the anti-hero gets to cop the attitude. And that's my other favorite part. The anti-hero gets better speeches. The hero gets their speech about honor, their speech about duty, their speech about courage. They get to talk about those amazing qualities that define them as a hero and why other people should have them. And if you're not going to go in there, I'm going in there anyway, because that's what I do. The anti-hero does not give his speech before the fight. He's not going to give the rousing, let's all get up and go in and do this thing. He's going to give his speech in the middle of the fight. He's going to give his speech in the clutch. Look, I don't know why any of you people are here, and I can kind of understand the guy over there. Me, I've got a job to do, and I'm going to do it. So you can either come along with me and make sure this job gets done, or you can get out of my way and let me do the job on my own. But don't you dare get in my way. The anti-hero has the benefit of a little more experience very often. I used to be like you. You know what? You keep doing that. You keep doing that thing you do as long as you can. And when you have to leave it behind, let's go have a beer and talk about where you go from there. The anti-hero, not necessarily, they might have come up a different path. You were trained by priests, I was trained by assassins, and we were both here trying to do the same thing. So let's not pretend that one of us is any better than the other, shall we? But no matter how they came to being where they are, being at that state of, I am here to do a job without all of the trappings that make you do it. You're here because you have to be here. I'm here because I choose to be here, and let's remember that, shall we? No matter how your anti-hero gets there, there is just that extra little bit. They are a paragon of self-determination. It may be the last words of a dead parent that are driving them forward. More likely, it is the futility of what that dead parent told them. Don't worry, everything will be okay. Just look towards the light and everything will be fine. But then the parent dies anyway, and you gotta move on. And that can define the anti-hero more than actually abiding by any final words or codes they've been given. It's not that they don't have any rules. They have their own set of rules. Okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this my way. It's going to be clean. It's going to be professional. We're going to go straight in. We're not going to do any fancy heroics. We've got a target. We're going to hit it. We're going to get back out. That's it. They've got their own rules. They've got their own code. And you don't get to know what that is until they need you to know. And even then, if you haven't figured it out by then, that's probably on you. The anti-hero is too busy getting their job done to have to give you any speeches about why you need to be like them. Because you don't. The anti-hero doesn't want company in the position. The hero would be very happy if everyone was a hero. If everyone was a hero, you wouldn't need any heroes. The hero's job is done when everyone's a hero and everyone follows the same ideals of courage and loyalty. The anti-hero is doing what they can because they're the one who can do it. And they've gone through a bunch of crap to get to the point where they can do it. And, you know, they don't necessarily care if other people have to go through that crap, but they'd rather they didn't. Like, oh, nice. You managed to get that without having to go through the crap I went through. Good for you. You keep that sunny disposition. I'll be over there beating people up. You can play an interesting hero. Many people have played interesting heroes. You can write interesting, heroic protagonists. There are challenges to writing good heroes. Because you get to challenge those codes. You get to take those things that define the hero, and you get to apply stress to them and see how heroic the hero can really be, how they can maintain their code, or if they do, or if they ultimately decide, if under pressure, that code cracks, and now the hero is either an anti-hero or even a villain. Cracking the code of a hero is a tremendously damaging thing. That's their psyche. That's their cause. That's their drive. Break it, they might just end up in a bar, drinking someplace, trying to remember back when they were great and figuring out where it all went wrong. Or worse, well, I was shown that everything I believed in was a lie. I might as well take over the world, and then maybe I can get some real heroes out of this place. Because the only thing a villain is, when it comes right down to it, is the character whose evil plans motivate the heroes. The anti-hero, I personally just find more interesting. Because I don't have to worry about that presupposition. I don't have to worry about, well, this is what's on the list, so this is what I do. The anti-hero is on their own. With everyone else in the party at their back, with a team that has good cohesion and a gel, with comrades that they go into these situations with, the anti-hero is still on their own. Because no one else in that group can give them meaning or can give them something that they are working towards. The purpose of the anti-hero comes from the anti-hero. and how they find themselves dealing with the situations that they get into. I keep revisiting Gelt. The character from Battle Beyond the Stars, my player character with the same name. Because his code is that he can't kill people. He doesn't get paid to kill. It makes him seem like a pacifist sometimes because he'll go out of his way to save people's lives who other people think you could have let that guy die. He hurt all those people. You could have just let him fall. And Gelt will just smile. And occasionally will respond, I wasn't paid. I couldn't let him die. Now, if you want to see him dead, there is a price, and if you meet it, I will take care of things, because Gelt is nothing if not good at his job. It's those abilities to marshal and master how that character appears to the rest of the world and feels on the inside all at the same time, and stepping away from those traditional hero roles. It's easy to idealize these characters. It's easy to have an ideal in your head when it comes to, oh, well, this is how people should behave. You have people roll up characters for a D&D game. There's a base assumption I still have in the back of my head. Oh, they're rolling up characters to go out and fight monsters and deal with bandits and make the world safe. And that's quite the assumption these days, because that's assuming heroic characters. That people are going to that you're going to see a group of heroes. You assume there's going to be a group of heroes. When I'm doing narration for podcasts about D&D characters, I tell, well, last episode, our heroes were in a situation. You have that language carved into your head by assumptions made in the rules and in the settings of these games, including mine, that heroes is what you're going to get. Sometimes you're not going to get heroes. And sometimes you don't want them. Sometimes dropping an anti-hero into a group of heroes spices things up. Sometimes dropping a hero into a group of anti-heroes did that in the game where I played Gelt. And we all played really terrible people, and one player showed up with a paladin. And I'm sorry, Al. I am so sorry. I will always be apologizing for that game and what happened to Al's poor paladin, because the Wednesday group and Josh was running and I was playing Gelt and Andrew was playing in that game, and he was playing someone who could never use the same weapon twice, literally was swapping out weapons in the middle of combat to see which ones worked best. And Wayne was playing his Kenku Moss, the most greedy and effective lawyer and bar slayer ever. And we have Max with us, who is playing an egotistical Griffin who just wanted to prove he was better than everyone else. And we were already, by the time Al joined the group, we had already killed a monastery full of monks and then found out the monks were evil. In that order, Al shows up in his paladin and is doing his level best to be a good paladin in this group. And we did our best to give him the freedom to believe that for a while. Tried to act like we should have a paladin with us. And, well, we got spaceships and we developed higher technology, and one thing led to another, and the paladin snaps, goes insane, steals a spaceship, starts to commit genocide against Wayne's and Max's entire race of people. And, well, there's someone going crazy in a spaceship. threatening to commit genocide, killing the people, and someone paid Gelt to deal with the situation. Which Gelt did, because, I was paid. I can handle this now. Party member or not, there's no limits on those contracts. And that was only the beginning of the problems for Al's characters in that campaign. I still feel so awful because whenever someone had a problem, it was throwing money at Gelt and telling Gelt to solve the problem. And there's a burden to being the anti-hero or an anti-hero. If you've got an entire group full of anti-heroes, you might want to dissuade someone from playing a paladin in the middle of that. It can't end well. That being said, thank you for following along on this particular ramble. The anti-hero is one of my favorite concepts, and I really enjoy making them, playing them, including them as NPCs, because they're so good at keeping people guessing. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you did enjoy the video, give me a thumbs down. Feedback is feedback. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, why not? My channel is awesome. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you do, hit the notification bell so you're alerted when my videos become available. If there's anything else you'd like to hear me talk about, other subjects you'd like to hear me cover, questions you'd like to hear me answer, go ahead and leave me a comment below. I will love getting your comment. You'll love leaving me one. And if you would like to contribute to the channel in a more substantial manner, I invite you to hit me at my Patreon page, www.patreon.com/ScottCorum, and consider donating. Absolutely anything helps, allows me to make better videos more often. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I am Scott Corum. This is what has mattered to me. I will see you next time on the next Matters of DeCorum.